guys, I'm ready for lesson 3 of module 19, describe sides of shapes. So it's on page 499 in your math workbooks. So let's get started. The I can statement says I can identify whether the sides of a shape are equal or not equal in length. I can identify parallel sides of a shape. So we're learning about parallel lines, parallel sides of shapes. Okay, so the Spark Your Learning says, Anya draws plans A and B for a 4-sided tabletop she is making. Describe the sides of each tabletop design. So shape A looks like a rectangle, and then shape B looks like a trapezoid. So the blue sides of shape A, if we notice, the lengths of shape A, or the blue sides of shape A, the lengths are the same. If you count the dots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dots, 6 dots. So they're the same. And then the distance apart, what that means is from one end to the next, they have the same distance apart, or maybe they don't. So like these lines have the same distance apart. They're right on top of each other, and they don't start to curve in or curve away. They're just the same distance. That's what that means. So again, the same. Now for the red lines are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dots, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dots on both sides. So the lengths are the same, and the distance apart from each other doesn't change from side to side or from point to point. So the distance apart is the same. Now let's look over at shape B, the trapezoid. So if we look at the blue sides, the lengths are different, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 dots on top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 dots on the bottom. So the lengths are very different. So one is much smaller than the other. Now what about the distance apart? Does that ever change from point to point? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way across the top. And so the distance apart never changes. They're the same distance apart, so that's the same. Now the red sides, let's look at those and count those dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the red lines are the same length. Now what about the distance apart? For this point to this point, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, oops, I'm counting wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 dots. Then it goes to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 8, I think that's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they start out really far apart, and then they move in closer and closer as it comes up to the top. So the distance apart changes. It is not the same throughout. Changes. So noticing those kinds of patterns is going to help you with this lesson. I know you're probably like, what are we even doing? But let's keep going. That's just kind of like dipping our toes into this lesson. The next page says, Emma draws shapes A, B, and C. Which shape has 3 sides that are equal in length? So compare the lengths of the sides. Which sides of shape A are equal in length? How do you know? So we would count the dots, right? Or we would use a ruler to measure. So this one is 1, 2, 3 dots, 1, 2, 3 dots, 1, 2, 3 dots. So the blue sides, you would say for part A, the blue sides are the same length, and we know that because we used a ruler to measure it, or we counted the dots, the spaces. And the dots are all equally spaced, so we can trust that. Part B says, which sides of shape B are equal in length? How do you know? So we could count these as well. 1, 2, 1, 2. The red sides are the same length because we counted the dots. And there's one up here like this diagonal. 1, 2. Because it's at a diagonal, it's actually longer, and so those are not the same. This is not the same length as the two red lines, and we could prove that with a ruler as well. So only the two red sides are the same. Then which sides of shape C are equal in length, and how do you know? So we have this top one that's 1, 2, side 1, 2, and the other side 1, 2. So this 1, 2 right here is again at a diagonal, and so it's longer. So this diagonal is not the same length as that top. But if we go over here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, the blue lines, the two blue lines or sides are equal in length because we counted the dots. Okay, can all sides of a gosh, I'm having a hard time reading it. Can all sides of a four-sided shape be equal in length? Explain how you know. Yes, of course, that's a square. If all four sides are the same length, that's a square. Okay. And I'm just trying to make sure we answered all that. I think we're good. Okay, next page, number 2, it says, Emma draws shapes D and E. Which sides of shape D are the same distance apart and appear to be parallel? Explain. So now let's talk about parallel lines. That's in our connective vocabulary. Remember, geometry, it's all about vocabulary. Lines, so it says in this yellow box, lines in the same plane that never cross and are always the same distance apart are parallel lines. The red sides are parallel. So back with the Spark Your Learning, when we talked about how the distance between those lines never changed, that's what we mean by parallel lines. So that's basically the definition of a parallel line, is that distance between the lines never changes. The lines don't start going in and they don't go away from each other. They're always the same distance apart. So, part A says which sides of shape D are the same distance apart and appear to be parallel. If we look at shape D, we have this bottom line straight across, and then this other line, this other blue line, is going up. So the distance from here to here is much smaller than the distance from here to here. See that? So those are not parallel lines. But the distance from the two red lines never changes. They will keep going straight up. So the red lines, or sorry, I need to say sides. The red sides are parallel. So we just used the dots, but you could use a ruler to prove that. Then part B says, which sides of shape E appear to be parallel? Which sides are not parallel? Explain how you know. So part E, if you notice, the red sides are going in towards each other. So this length right there, that distance is way greater than the top. So the distance between the two lines changes, so they're not parallel. So not the red lines, and we know that because we measured the dots. Yes, the blue lines are parallel though, the top and bottom, because that distance never changes from point to point. So from this top blue line to the bottom one, the distance between those two lines doesn't ever change. Yes, blue. Okay. All right, so the check understanding says, draw a line to match the shape to the words that describe the red sides. So I'm going to read the description and then find the shape that matches it. So the red sides are not parallel, but they are equal in length. Not parallel, but equal in length. So these red lines are equal in length and they're parallel. So it's not that one. These red lines are equal in length and they're not parallel. So that would be this middle shape, like that. Not parallel, not equal in length. Let's see. Over here, this pentagon, we have a short side and a long side. Those distances are not equal, so they're not parallel. Appear to be parallel, equal in length. That was this parallelogram over here. Like that. Okay, last page. Lee says a shape cannot have 4 sides of equal length and 2 pairs of parallel sides. Is Lee correct? Explain and draw an example to show your thinking. Okay, so Lee says a shape cannot have 4 sides of equal length and 2 parallel sides. So let's think if we can come up with a shape that has 4 sides of equal length. Are we thinking of something? And 2 pairs of parallel sides. Now, automatically, if we're thinking 4 sides that are all the same, we're thinking square. Now we need to think, are those do we have 2 sets of parallel sides if we make a perfect square? So I'm going to count the dots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh wait, I did that wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So ignore that little piece on the end. I went too far. Okay, so here's our perfect square, 4 by 4. Now the distance between these 2 lines right here across from each other will always be 4 dots. So those are parallel. What about the top and bottom? The distance will always be, again, 4 dots. So Lee is not correct because a square, this is basically the definition of a square. 4 sides of equal length with 2 sets of parallel sides. Now, one thing not to get confused about is this top line and this left side is not a set of parallel lines. If they're next to each other like that, if they make a vertices, they're not going to be parallel. We're looking at ones that are across from each other. So those are the pairs. This left to right, top and bottom. Those are parallel sides. Okay, for 3, 4, and 5, it says write equal length, not equal length to describe the green sides of the shape. So this we'd have to measure. I'm just going to guess. Number 3, we have a triangle. Those 2 lengths look like they are equal. So I'm going to say equal. Number 4, we have a short side, long side, so those are not equal in length. Number 5, we have our top and bottom of our parallelogram, and I'm going to say that those are equal in length. Number 6, it says, look at the green sides of the shape, write if they appear to be parallel or not parallel. So does the distance between the 2 lines change? Can they be different lengths? For sure they can be different lengths. It's the distance between them that we care about when we're talking about parallel lines. So number 6, we have our top and bottom. The distance, whoop, 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 doesn't change. So those are parallel. Okay, right here, number 7, these lines, those look parallel to me as well. And number 8, bam. Oh, and over to the side, so you can see the distance between this point and these ones. Woo, that's different. That's shorter than, and this is longer. So that is not parallel. Number 9, write a riddle about a closed shape with 4 sides. Tell whether the sides are equal in length and whether any sides are parallel. Okay, so let's see. A riddle about a closed shape with 4 sides. Tell whether the sides are equal in length and whether any sides are parallel. I don't know what it means to say a riddle. Like, I know what a riddle is, but I don't know how you're supposed to write a riddle about a closed shape with 4 sides. Tell whether the sides are equal in length or whether any sides are parallel. Oh, like to come up with a shape? So like to give you clues. So you would say, there's a shape with 4 sides. There is one set of parallel lines. The other 2 sides are equal in length. That would be a trapezoid. So now I get it. So that's a riddle. So write something down and let me know what you come up with. And then do your homework and come back for lesson 4. We got a lot of math lessons today, so deep breath, totally groovy. We got this. You're awesome. Love your guts. See you in the next video.